Last time on Dice Funk.
Is there anywhere in this town to become stronger?
Well, if you want to get stronger, the strongest people I can think of you could go pick a fight with. There's a whole syndicate cartel kind of group, the business Baron business Bonanza boys. They all helpfully have these little banana pins.
For now, we got to get this ship, delivered and prisoner, for lack of better words, to set up somewhere so we can interrogate accordingly to figure out more about the elves.
This is your family?
Yeah, I'm Uncle K-Pot. They didn't tell you about me?
You must not have been present for everything with Grabby K-Pot then.
Nah, I've been living in the Coral Kingdom. I'm the out-of-town Unk, you know?
What we're trying to turn Gowdy into is a fiber optic cable around Master Ever, because we want to have what's called total internal reflection. That's why fiber optic cables work. They basically take anything that is going through and it reflects light back into itself so it can't escape. So that's effectively what we're proposing turning Gowdy into.
All right, 14 to assemble lightning rods for the coming Wight fight. I don't know if that will be relevant, either here or in Dry Team. That's actually up to Quinn, but let's just put that in our back pocket. 14 for lightning rods.
Well, you are barking up the wrong tree asking the church for money. It is not a money-making venture, and we are not a financially well-off church.
Oh, sweet child of the sea, that is exactly why I needed to talk to you, because you have leverage over the Bishop Bittercreek being his strongest soldier, and I think you can convince him that the Church of the Riddlefish should be a money-making venture. Consider this: an upfront fee to put your body part in the queue. But I'm not done yet. Let me sweeten the offer, because I hear you have a problem with people flooding your queue with the useless body parts. I hear the Shark Kingdom wants to add a tooth from every citizen to the queue. 10,000 teeth all at once for you to deal with.
There would need to be an exception. A pathway for people who cannot afford the fee. And approval to have that waived would lie with the church, not with you. You would not have a say in how frequently we make exceptions for those in need.
I think the eventual thing is we're just going to kill these guys.
Yeah, I think the plan here is it could be a stopgap until such time that we could just nuke the banana boys to the fucking crater that they deserve to be in.
9, you swim out of the cave and you see Allison looks ill, and then you throw up with a 9.
What? Why am I throwing up? What happened?
You take 2 damage. I don't know if you know. Something weird just happened.
Okay, cool.
19 is incredible. Yeah, the whispering is specifically because he's from the abyssal pelagic part of the ocean, where making even the tiniest amount of sound will alert every other ambush predator in the area. Talking is an extreme weakness that he rarely indulges in, except for to scold his students. And that I think the important thing with 19 here is it's brought up again how important depth is to his abilities. If you fight him, he said the rematch is going to take place at low midnight, in front of Wight. And that is not the deepest ocean, but he'll be relatively strong there. So the reminder is the higher he goes, the weaker he is.
Okay.
And if you're trying to get Allison in on the fight, she has worms she can use to grab and pull people around.
Including pulling up to a higher fight location. There are things I could memorize that would maybe help me be better at this show, but I need more room in my brain for remembering that Spoik, the Pokemon, can't stop bouncing or its heart will stop.
Is there ever been a payoff for that? Does that come up in the anime or something?
What? Are you asking if there's a payoff where Spoink the Pokemon dies?
Yeah, and there's like a mystery around that or something.
I mean, no, but there has been both an episode of the anime where a spoink was very distressed, very like anxious about the awareness of its own, like, if I stop, I will die. There was also a sort of tease that maybe that would be a thing, and then it didn't pan out in one of the Detective Pikachu games.
Okay, I think someone owes me an apology because my question doesn't seem so stupid now that Laura has confirmed it.
I think it is still ridiculous, Austin. How dare you?
I just like the notion of, like, imagine you had a game where you offered like character quirks like you would in some things, and one of the quirks was must keep hopping or else they will die on the spot, and seeing how many people will just pick that. You know?
It's not even the only Pokemon that has once it starts bouncing it can't stop lore. Igglybuff at least isn't threatened it's gonna die, but Igglybuff canonically, if you bounce one like a bouncy ball, it will never stop bouncing.
Whoa, that's not how physics works. That's free energy? We've discovered how to have infinite energy.
Igglybuff is an infinite energy glitch, yes.
Wow, we've learned a lot. We gotta bring that up on our Pokemon Revolution spinoff.
We should stop playing 10-year-olds. Right, Pokedex entries. Because they will things into existence they shouldn't be.
I took a similar feat where if I stop podcasting, I die. So we should continue on our adventure for my health.
What's going to happen at the end of this episode, though?
We're gonna have to we'll record a Spew Punk, and then a Game Crunk, and then a Crew Gunk, and then
we're bringing Game Crunk back.
Or otherwise, I will perish, Quinn. So we have to.
Do you want me to bring back some of my old podcasts? I can bring back Botch Snap, the NFL football podcast.
Absolutely, we got to do that. We got to do I'm trying to think of like the most
Transmission Awesome for the podcast dedicated to a defunct website.
That one might be a little awkward.
You say that, but imagine when we get to the awesome blog of the week.
Wow, that's such a blast from the past. Last time we left the adventure, the party gathered at the edge of town in front of the giant storm that is Wight the Giant, and you all awaited until low midnight for the emergence of Master Evers for your rematch. If you're the strongest, you can stop him from getting to Wight, but if you're not, then he has to prove his strength against the strongest. I would have him taunt you at this point, but the last episode ended with Reaper using silence. So I guess just enjoy this math, audience.
Cool. Austin, you're the DM. Help us. It's been a week since we discovered Wight's weaknesses. We got to get him near the surface because he's weaker up there. Mm-hmm. Not Wight's weaknesses. Master Evers. Yeah. Yes. We got to get Evers near the surface. Was there anything else we learned that was a weakness that we've forgotten?
Two other things I could think of is just because of their being in the deepest depths, light in general, radiant damage, not going to play nice with them. And also, they are effectively blind when it's too bright around and rely more heavily on sound, hence why Reaper opens with silence.
Okay, yep. I sort of know what's happening.
Oh my gosh. So a lot of people in town have come out to watch this fight. I think of this as like a classic Wild West showdown with the gunslingers. There are people peeking out of the bottom floors of the gig, people at the Coliseum, people at the convention center, which is the sunken ship. There's like a lot of witnesses to this as you three kind of set up in the middle of the street. Actually, everyone roll initiative.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That is a 7 for Boyce.
Crit 21.
Barbella's
itching for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
13.
All right, Reaper and Evers tied, which is very interesting. Let's do a second roll. This doesn't affect normal initiative. Let's roll again, though, just me and you.
24. Wow.
25 crit. Oh. Whoa, the math is off to an interesting start.
That means that Master Evers wasted one of his crits just to get a slight advantage in timing. That's what that means, right?
What a fool.
That's really, this is a good start. If I had said those were just new initiative rolls, Evers would have won, though, because both Barbella and him crit, but he has a higher modifier.
Right, so does that mean I'm still first out the gate?
Yeah, let's give it to you, Barbella. So you don't see him right now. He can teleport from shadow to shadow, and it is literally midnight. It is the darkest. You're already living in like a mesopelagic society down here, so little light gets down here to begin with. It just could not be more, scary for you because you know this guy could just at any moment just leap out and hit you. So what do you do?
Okay, there's nothing currently imposing disadvantage on my attacks or anything, is there?
There are. He has 1,500 light controlling organs, as viperfish do, and until that is neutralized, he can project. He can basically refract light to make it appear he is somewhere he is not, which gives you disadvantage.
That thing. Did we work out a fix for that?
Boyce has something to work on that. That's Gowdy's sort of like total internal reflection rather, in order to basically focus light around Evers to sort of disrupt those sort of elements and basically provide a counter to that. But Boyce moves last, so that will take a little bit there.
Let's go for this. So Barbella is going to use a bonus action to cast Branding Smite, and is then going to make 2 melee attacks. 25 and 26 for the first attack, so 25 with disadvantage.
That hits.
The second one's 16 with disadvantage.
And that misses.
Okay, well, I got a hit on, and it's gonna Branding Smite, so that's gonna be some extra. Right, so...
Yeah, while you're doing your math there, I'll just read this. A photophore is a glandular organ that appears as luminous spots on various marine animals. So that's what these are called, photophores, if you want to look this up.
Cool.
You know I don't.
That's 17 damage plus another 7 for the Branding Smite, which is radiant damage. Also, Branding Smite, if the target that's hit is invisible, it becomes visible. Does this in any way nullify the light refracting stuff going on?
It's interesting you ask because Evers does have an ability, I believe, called Cloak of Shadows, where you can just become invisible. This is a separate thing from the Viperfish's photophores. It is a Shadow Monk ability that Reaper can get, I believe, at the next level. I specifically made Evers just be a slightly more powerful monk for this effect, where it's like, oh, Reaper, if you beat Evers, you will level up and you will get that ability. So you can knock him out of invisibility if he takes it, but right now what you've done is swing at the shadows, disperse them with your Radiant Paladin magic, and then you can see him, and then you bonk him.
I will continue reading Branding Smite, actually. The target sheds dim light in a 5-foot radius and can't become invisible until the spell ends.
Yeah.
So I don't have to knock him out of invisibility, he just can't go into it.
Okay, so I'm actually not going to use a reaction to attack you back because of the silence, which means that he couldn't hear you coming, basically. Because that's the justification I was using for him to immediately strike back, was like Daredevil senses, essentially. Instead, it is just his normal turn, and he's going to roll a 26, a 25, and a 15 to attack you back.
2 of those are going to hit.
Oh, I'm never going to play a monk on this show. They have too much going on.
That sounds like some coward shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, you're going to take 24 damage as he lowers his jaw and stabs you with his glass-like translucent teeth. And then uses a bonus action or uses one of his key points to disengage from you and disappear back into the shadows. This is something he can do as a monk normally. So he's disappeared again and not gone invisible, to be clear.
Has he disappeared? Has he gone into shadows? He's glowing.
Yeah. No, Reaper, it's your turn. You can see him. I'm not hiding him from you. There's no secret about where he is.
Okay. I am going to swim over towards him, and I do like that, like, as Reaper goes, there's like a, oh, and then just immediate silence as she goes into the silence field. And I'm going to attack Master Everett and spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows. So, botch a 13. Or wait, is this with disadvantage?
A botch, a 19, and a 19?
A botch, a 13, a 19, and a 19.
All 4 of those miss. Deal your damage to yourself as if you had hit yourself for the botch. And then remind the audience about your wound. Last time you fought Master Evers, the end of this, or the beginning of this arc, you were completely ran through on his teeth. What is the consequence of that?
Yeah, I didn't actually check this with you first, so I'm just going to do it. You can't stop me. Reaper has vulnerability to piercing damage now. So any piercing damage, she'll take double.
Holy shit, that's good. Fuck, I'm so glad you didn't clear that with me, because I want to try to talk you out of it, because it's so bad for this fight.
It's extremely bad, but...
Quinn, do you want us to lose this game? Because there are so many points this season I've just got like, oh, you don't want us to see the end of the season? And that's fine.
Now,
I just
here's
need
the
to know
thing.
that's what we're getting in for.
Here's legitimately the thing, and I actually do want to have a talk with Austin about this at some point. We have kind of exhausted what you can do when your character goes down as like a tangible weakness. Like we've had characters like break their legs, lose limbs, lose like a sense. We've had 2 different characters who essentially just retired from being adventurers. Like we've done almost everything. So I had to really stretch. I was like, what have we not done? I was like, I don't think we've had a character pick up a weakness to something before.
Yeah, no, that's great, Quinn. I don't disagree. You really picked the certain type, huh?
It's the only one that would make sense.
No, you're right. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
That's fair. I wouldn't like it either.
You've done this in the fight where Barbella has taken the I'll take half of your damage.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that's a good thing to remind the audience. You cast a special bond
Warding
between
bond,
the 2 of you.
which
Yeah.
I should note gives me resistance to all damage. So I don't know how that goes. I don't know if a resistance and a weakness cancel each other out or not.
I feel like that's how they should work.
That is how they work. Yeah. So you take normal from piercing and half from other types.
I'll take normal damage to piercing and resistance to everything else.
Yeah. Okay, a lot going on there. So, Reaper, you deal 11 damage to yourself, and then Master Evers is going to attack you as a reaction. That's I botched. What the fuck? This is
not
incredible.
so cocky now, nerd.
Does he bite his own face? Is that what he does?
I mean, Reaper, if you'll feel to paint me the picture, I mean, the way that Viperfish teeth work is they're so comically huge that if you knocked one out of place, he would impale his own mouth. So I feel like if they clash, Reaper gets stabbed, but is able to like bend one of his teeth in a certain way. That definitely can mutual damage there.
Yeah, I'm gonna shift an elbow up and crack Master Evers in the jaw, and then make him like stab his own roof of his mouth.
And I all rolled 11 damage too. We both rolled 11 damage. Audience, if you can't see this math, it's so funny. So Master Evers has a higher martial arts die than you would normally, Reaper, at this point, except for as your reward for reuniting with the K parts, and your arms are now covered in ribbons. You have them like all up and down your arms. They're like tied on like, you know, keepsakes. Is you asked for a bigger martial arts die, so we both have the same. So that's so funny. We're like closer to being on the same plane, and we both just rolled 11 damage after botching at each other. That's, I mean, wow.
This is a Dragon Ball fight where somebody's just reached a new power-up level, so the characters have to like exchange blows for a little bit before the new status quo can be set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It didn't matter for this attack, but I'm just going to remind the other 2 of you, if you're going to do a melee attack and potentially get an attack of opportunity in response to you, stand near Barbella while you do that attack, and I can impose disadvantage on the attack against you. If you're if you're within 5 feet of me when you do an attack, I can do my protection shit.
Okay, so Boyce is going to have Gowdy like sort of move out and augment its size to make it larger. So it goes from, I think, let's see here. So I think right now it's medium size. It will take 2 more turns for it to become huge. So each round is going to become 1 step larger as it tries to move in to sort of envelop the space around Master Ever in some capacity. And then, after that's done, I'm realizing one of the biggest problems I have here is the fact that I'm going up against a monk, and way too many wizard spells are dex saving throw based or attacks. So I'm just like, which one do we want to start? I think I'm going to test things by just trying a level 1 guiding bolt against Master Ever. This is going to be with disadvantage, correct?
Correct.
That's a 22.
That hits.
All right, so with that, Boyce delivers 16 radiant damage on Master Ever and puts a dim light around the target so that the next attack roll made against it before the beginning of my next turn is with advantage, so it will nullify disadvantage.
All right, you hit him with a radiant bolt. He starts glowing. We're going to reach the end of the order here. I'll say that the storm created by Wight is like picking up. It's, constantly throwing, buffeting, vortex at all of you. It's moving things around in the street. It just feels like you're fighting like in a thunderstorm. And you can see like his burning eyes in the distance shift as if to watch the fight, because this is, like something clearly going on in the area.
Right. So we ideally still want to get Master Evers up, right? And the plan was for Allison to try and pull Evers up closer to the surface if possible. Is that going to require like a turn or a partial turn from one of us for Allison to act on that plan?
Yes, implementing the Allison plan and the Gaudy plan take your turn resources.
Yeah, cool. I'll commit to it. I'll use my turn. My turn is being used to try and get Allison to engage on plan, get this guy near the surface.
All right, let us do a strength contest, because he's going to try to resist being pulled up. Barbella, you and me.
Oh, my strength. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 10. Oh.
20.
Cool. Love that for me. Such a great use of my turn.
Let's see. I'm just trying to think if Evers is a smart fighter, and he is. He's a master martial artist. So he disengages from Reaper and runs at Boyce, who just hit him with the guiding bolt. I had to take a minute there to think: is this character cruelty or is this Austin cruelty? Can I live with this? And I have to be true to the character. So 17, 21, and 29.
Boyce, did you stand near Barbella?
No. Boyce is outside of the silence area because he wouldn't be able to cast spells otherwise.
Okay.
All 3 hit.
Okay, I'm outside of the silence area as he runs. He moves just so fast that it's hard to keep your eye on him. It's almost as if he teleports into your chest for 29 damage. Jaw completely unhinged. And now you look down and he's just drinking blood from your abdomen.
All right. That actually plays into what I want to do, so thank you. Anyways.
Oh, no. I didn't know I don't think I wanted to hear that.
Yeah.
All right. Reaper.
Yeah, I'm going to go after Master Evers now. The guiding bolt's still active. It's just the first attack doesn't have...
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So I am going to not do a flurry of blows. I'm just going to do a regular 3 attack. So 16, a 20, and a 23.
Only the 23 hits.
Wowzers, Bowsers.
Oh no, I'm spreading that vocabulary virus. I feel like
I could change that. Cool beans, parentheses, ironic.
No, I like it. We're all becoming closer.
So that is going to be 12 damage, but then I am going to burn a key point to use Stunning Strike.
14?
So last level up, I had to sit there for a while, and I was like, I had a point basically to spend in my stats, and I was like, I should just do Constitution. It's only going to be 2 extra hit points by the end of the game, but that, is probably how I should do it. And I was like, why don't I put it into wisdom? Because that'll increase my actual save DC. So that increase moved it from 14 to 15. So if I had not done it, he would have saved, but he fails there.
All right, well, I'm going to use one of my legendary resistances as a boss. So I start with 3, going down to 2 to not be stunned, because that is one of the worst the conditions that can happen to a character. You basically just are fucking useless for a whole round.
Yeah.
It's very bad.
Reaper's gonna like try to make a whole bunch of attacks and like most of them miss, but she does get like one in there that he actually does like have to like turn his attention to like fully defend, and I want them to like meet eyes in that moment.
Yeah, and I left the silent zone to hit Boyce, so Master Evers will look you kind of in the eye once again, kind of unfocused because of the way his vision works, and just kind of with the tiniest hint of pride, just say, "Good, a precise attack."
That was actually a failure on my part. I was trying to punch out your spleen.
You did perfectly. I am just stronger. Reaction to attack you, 23.
Yep, that's a hit.
All right, you take 10 damage.
What kind of damage?
Piercing. All this damage is piercing.
This is actually a very weird way that this works, because the idea is supposed to be that because I have resistance to all damage, I would take half and then Barbella takes the other half, but because I have this weakness now, I still take 10.
Yeah,
Barbella still takes 5.
What you've done is you've nullified any protection that choice I made would have given you.
I still have bonuses to a bunch of other things. I just like it because this is clearly like a flaw in the spell. Like it wasn't intended to ever, like PCs weren't intended to have vulnerabilities.
You weren't intended to go, oh, I'm protected from the damage type of this fight, let's undo that.
He could have necrotic damage somewhere.
Okay, is everyone other than Barbella outside of the silent zone?
For now.
Can I actually get a perception check for Boyce and Reaper? Because you two are up in his grill right now.
14.
8.
With 14, I'll say Boyce, you see that Master Evers has something that he didn't last time you saw him. It appears to be like a bracelet of some sort. With a 14, I can't give you too much more. It's just the only thing that's different between the 2 times you've seen this man in your life. He seems to have some kind of item. Just for a moment, you perceive that. You don't know if that's important or why.
Mm-hmm.
Probably something for the Banana Boys. That fuck.
Possibly, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I guess you don't have to roll for it if Quinn's smart.
I'm just thinking, I was like, well, what's the only thing he's done since last time we saw him? And I was like, well, he went and saw the Banana Boys.
Yeah, pretty much. What does it do? Not sure yet.
Yep.
That being said, I have an idea.
Uh-oh. I'm scared.
So, I kind of want to bait Master Evers back into the silent zone if they want to do anything. And I have a way of doing that. I'm not sure how much Reaper's going to like what I'm going to do.
She's pretty passe about a lot of things.
Fair enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invoke Thunderstep, transposing the elemental damage to Radiant to teleport Boyce and Reaper back into the silent zone. And as they leave the spot by Evers, it will project... Evers has to do a Constitution saving throw to save against the radiant damage. I'm also assuming that, like, since Gaudy has their own actions, they're like floating around and such. But, all
right, Constitution save 21.
They will save and take half damage, but Boyce and Reaper are going to be able to teleport up to 90 feet away, which I'm assuming would kind of group up near Barbella in this case here, right?
Yeah.
So that is only 4 damage for it. It was pretty bad damage roll, but 2, 3, and 4 the 3d10. But Boyce and Reaper are now pulled back into the silence zone as Gaudy continues to grow into large size.
Okie dokie. We're back at the end of the order. So the maelstrom in the distance keeps churning. You're seeing ocean debris moving around as the storm giant watches the fight. People are coming out from the gig or from further away from town to watch this fight. They're like kind of almost like starting to encircle this bout. We're back to Barbella. You are in the silent zone with your party members. Evers is outside.
Right. Do I spend another turn trying to pull him up, or do I get smacking him? I don't know what's the more sensible decision here.
So his AC is at least 21. And you have disadvantage. So I would say unless you're like at a 60 or above, it might be better just to try the strength roll. You are more likely to win that. You
Yes.
rolled like a 4 last time, which is crazy, but
Possibly it's I've got that plus 12, which feels like I should be able to hit enough to get over it. But okay, we'll try one more turn. Strength contest to try and pull this fish up.
14.
8. Cool. Love this for me.
wild.
All right. So the three of you are at distance. So Evers tries to fade back into the shadows and throws a shuriken, the kind that Reaper has been throwing this season. One at each of you. Barbella 22, Reaper 13, and Boyce 12. Botch.
Are any of you near Barbella?
Yes, we're all next to you.
Okay, they get disadvantage for the rolls against them.
They both missed.
They both miss anyway. I'm the only one that
Yeah.
takes the hit anyway. Cool.
Barbella, you take 8 as you use your defense style to shield your party members. You deflect 2 of them, and the third one hits you for, medium damage. This is like the gnarly goth kind of shuriken that we've discussed a couple times.
I'm still debating what to do as a result of that botch there.
I mean, he could get hit by lightning if there's a big storm going around, or get caught up in the whirlwind.
Or maybe momentary distraction and does get pulled up by the worms.
You want to roll again, Barbella?
Sure. Worm pull of opportunity.
12.
Fucking 10.
Roll 20
Plus
is
6
mad.
modifier.
Yeah, it's...
I'm just not allowed to play today. Sometimes that's how Roll20 be.
Oh my
What the fuck?
gosh.
It's hostile. All right.
I hate
Reaper.
Roll20. All right. I think if he's not directly coming to us, it doesn't make sense for someone to leave the safe bubble essentially. So I'm gonna pull out my harpoon gun, and I'm gonna fire a harpoon at him, and then unfortunately both attacks are gonna miss with a 15 to 12.
All right. So, he's able to deflect and, slide back into the shadows as you shoot your harpoon at him and then pull it back. Unless you have anything else.
I am going to use a key point to take patient defense, so I'll take the dodge action.
Well, this is round 3, so Gowdy is using their bonus action to augment to become now huge size in this respect, which is like, you're talking about like a creature that's between 15 and 32 feet tall for the type of creature that Gowdy is. Imagine that there, right? It's just like they're bigger than buildings right now.
Wow, 32 feet tall. So you can completely encircle Evers and reflect all light in the area onto him like a giant spotlight.
Yep. And at this point, I'd like to do the tactic I did the first time we saw Evers and target Shatter on them within to basically set off almost like a flashbang, a radiant shatter to almost set off like a flashbang inside of Gowdy to turn them into a giant lighthouse, effectively.
Yeah, so this is radiant, so I'm going to do disadvantage now. So that's 13. This is very bad for him. I don't know if at the audience, we're like half an hour into this fight. They've only hit him a couple times. He's feeling pretty confident, and then suddenly he finds himself on a 32-foot stage being bombarded with light and explosions.
Yeah, so basically it's almost like because Gaudi is so large now, they don't need to move much to kind of like envelop the space that Master Eber is in, and then Boyce just sort of focuses, adjusts their hat, and there's like almost like a snap of fingers as they trigger off the shatter. Now this does involve Boyce needing to move out of the silence sphere to do so they are a little exposed as a result, but it is a way to sort of now try to eliminate shadows from the immediate area is sort of what he's trying to do with this.
100%. So now Evers no longer is able to manipulate light. All attacks on him have normal just normal, no advantage or disadvantage. So that's a huge thing, but it does make you public enemy number 1. So he is going to have to risk it for the biscuit to kill the wizard, because this is super duper bad. He took double damage from your shatter. He hates that shit. He is just whispering. He's too far away for you to hear, but you can tell he's like whispering just cruel invectives against you right now.
Okay.
Cool. I've got some logistical questions quickly.
Yep.
If I were to try and pull him up toward the surface again, would that in any way undo what Boyce has just succeeded at?
No.
It's not like I'd be pulling Master Evers out of a range of blindedness or anything. No. Cool.
No.
Would pulling Evers away potentially make it harder to get to and attack Boyce?
So Gaudi is like a living cage who can go with Evers wherever he goes, so that's no problem at all. As far as attacking Boyce, he's going to try. Obviously, it's like a tug of war with Allison, so I think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So this,
Cool.
this is the thing. If he gets up too high, he literally will just straight up die. So he's going to use all of his resources to get out of that.
Okay. I'm going to continue attempting on Allison's behalf to get Evers pulled up to the surface, because I can't believe this luck, and I'm being stubborn about it now. But also, Barbella is going to come stand near Boyce, if that's acceptable to also do in the turn.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're a defense paladin.
Right.
Yep. All right, I appreciate that. I'm doing like the various gestures there.
Cool. 24 on strength to pull this fish up to the surface.
12. Wow, the luck's turning. The first 3 rounds, you could hear the fucking anguish in Laura's voice as this is slipping away, and now the tide is turning.
Cool. So yeah, what? Tell me, Austin. What has my 4 turns of trying to pull this man to the surface achieved for us? What's occurring?
Well, for your first success, Allison latches on to Evers with one of the worms and starts swimming up. So it pulls him off the ground and starts going up. Basically, if you succeed 3 times, he begins to asphyxiate because he can't be up there. It's already hard enough on his body to be in Zolfo to begin with. So basically, you just instantly win if you can pull that off. But in the meantime, it means he can't just flash step over to Boyce and rearrange your limbs and head, my Genasi friend.
Nice.
But he's still gonna try to kill you with shuriken and so forth. But I don't know how if Boyce would have made it another round.
I give it like a 50-50 on him being knocked out if Evers had another volley against him.
Yeah, so in response to this, I guess shuriken at you, Barbella, 26.
26 will hit.
All right. Only 6 damage, not a lot. And now it's Evers' turn. So Evers is very upset about being dragged towards the surface and is going to, I think, attack Allison.
Can Allison also be stood in the little circle around Barbella?
Nope, Allison is going straight towards the surface. That's 30, 15, and 19. Only 13 damage, so not a lot. But he turns and swims into her, and now they're struggling in the air. He is kind of, I said in the air, you know what I mean, above you in the water. But he is kind of vulnerable now because he's distracted. So, not good for him. This has really gone from him beating the shit out of the 3 of you to kind of desperation.
Nice.
All right. So I think what Reaper wants to do is she wants to get right next to Ever. So she is going to swim to like get next to him so that he has like a physical target next to himself that he has to kind of like pay some level of attention to, so he can't just like focus on trying to kill Allison or Boyce. So she's going to get up real close, and then she's going to do not a flurry of blows because I'm not spending a key point for that, but I'm going to do my normal attacks. So 24, 13, and 13.
Only 24 hits?
All right, it's going to be 7 damage, and I am going to spend another key point to do Stunning Strike.
All right. Constitution save 29.
Yes, plus 10 to Constitution?
Uh-huh. He's proficient.
Oh no.
With your butt.
You're proficient with my butt? What?
I don't think you should have said that. So are you in melee range?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so as a reaction, he's going to strike at you. 27.
Yep.
All right, you're going to take 13 piercing damage.
Okay, and that means I take, 6 or 7?
6.
6. Okay.
So now the fight is Allison dragging him upwards as he tries to duel Reaper. That's pretty good. Barbella and Boyce are at range, and we're at Boyce. All the spotlights are shining on this.
No, stay in the range where I can stop us all hemorrhaging hit points.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. I guess what I can do, I'm trying to think of an... all right, here's what Boyce is going to do. As an action, they are going to cast the spell Haste on Reaper.
Oh. That's fun.
Hot dog.
Haste is one of the best spells in 5th edition.
Yep, it gives Reaper a +2 bonus to AC, advantage to dex saving throws, and additional action on each turn. So it could give Reaper an additional attack as well as an opportunity to either dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. That's going to be their action, and bonus action is, well, I mean, just maintaining Goudy's sort of like extremely bright sort of presence around Master Evers and staying close to Barbella in the immediate.
All right, so Boyce, you cast Haste on Reaper. Reaper, you start vibrating with pure blue energy. You're making the spin dash noise.
A blue blur, you could even say.
I could say it looks really bad. Master Evers is not stupid, but he only sees one out, which is to kill Boyce at range while being defended by a paladin, which is not good. So I'm going to roll as my reaction here with disadvantage 18 because of your paladin fighting style.
18 will hit, yeah. It's fine.
All right, 10. Does that look like it's even going to get close?
To killing Boyce?
To taking you down?
No.
Okay.
Boyce has 27 hit points after that, so Boyce is still fine.
Okay.
And they maintain concentration on haste, so good job.
All right, at the end of the order, once again, the storm is roiling. I just want to say that, you see crackles of lightning, you hear peals of thunder in the distance, and then you hear something else. Can I get history checks from all of you?
That would be an 18.
5.
18 somehow?
Haha! Nice.
Okay, double 18.
18 and 18 win, so you get everything here. What it sounded like was someone playing a war song or like a horn to signal a charge through like a conch shell or something. You two have probably heard about this in various ways, maybe Boyce from reading and Reaper just maybe facing warriors who have fought in certain ways. It seems like someone signaled an attack in the distance, in the opposite direction of where you are now. So with 18s, definitely that's what's happened. Someone just called for military action.
The fucking elves.
Look, there's two things that could be happening, which is some people could be coming to attack us,
Or
some people could be coming to attack Wight. Neither of them's great.
yeah.
So you can all decide what to do with that on your own terms, but it is Barbella for the moment.
Well, for now, there's really only one thing I can do. Let's keep trying to pull this fucker up to the surface.
All right, you got to win 3 times. You've won once. Let's roll again. 14 for you and 21 for me.
What are these rolls?
Yeah. It doesn't really seem like it should work that way.
I have one other question. Lay on hands. Can I lay hands on myself?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. I will sort that between turns then. Right. That's me done.
All right. Like I said, as Evers is being dragged up to the surface and wailed on, he only sees one out, which is to kill Boyce, which will turn off the lights. I believe Gowdy will go away if you die, right?
Maybe.
Well, let's find out. He doesn't know either. So, disadvantage on all the shurikens that he rains down on you. 14, 21, 13.
All 3 hit.
Whoa. Did not see that coming.
That all 3 hit even with disadvantage. Fuck.
Yeah.
37.
That will knock Boyce out.
Holy shit. I didn't think that would work. I was literally trying to think in my brain, like, how can I justify him running from this? Because he's such a confident, egotistical bastard.
My only thing here, Austin, that pisses me off about this is, like, we didn't even get one round of Reaper being able to use haste.
Oh, yeah.
That's my main grievance with this here.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I didn't think that would happen.
What's
your AC?
Boy, it's 13. I mean, like, I could have boosted up maybe to 16 with mage armor, but like, I wasn't expecting you to just focus. I mean, it's also like Reaper was there intentionally to draw attention away from Boyce, so it's just like,
It is what it is. Well, welcome to club having a bad time.
Welcome to club having a bad time.
Yeah. So I look at like, let me double check here about how this plays out, because I just do not know. I don't see anything that indicates that if I'm unconscious, it goes away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally open to that because Gowdy is like a living separate thing. So I was thinking Master Evers thinks, oh, that's a spell. Hitting the wizard will get rid of it. And then it's just proven wrong. Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to do something real quick here. I did not succeed in my concentration check to maintain haste. That's me being facetious there. Yeah, so.
All right, Reaper. Gowdy stays encircling Master Evers. He is still vulnerable to your attacks.
Yeah. I'm torn between 2 ideas at the moment. One is just to keep attacking, but I'm statistically pretty unlikely to hit. The other thought is to try to sleight of hand whatever bangle he has off of him, but I think I don't want us to have 2 different, like, skill checks to see if we can immobilize this guy. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just attacking, even though I don't have a super great chance of hitting.
I mean, the alternative is, could you also be using turns on the roll for Allison pull him up check? Would your strength modifier make sense for that?
I believe I have like a 0 to strength. I have a +1, so it's not very good.
Fair enough.
I think it makes more sense that Reaper is going to try to do this, like engage with Evers and get the focus on her. And we'll reevaluate that in future turns if maybe I have to try something different. But I'm going to attack Evers again. So a 19, an 18, and a 12. All of those miss.
All of those miss. Damn, that's heartbreaking. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just how the story goes.
Yeah, fuck. All right. So you're attacking him. He is looking quite furiously at the lights that Gowdy is reflecting and obviously mad they're not going away. And he says, "You wouldn't face me alone, would you?"
I don't even know if Reaper has like a response to that. I think she's upset that Boyce went down and she doesn't know what his like state is, and she's really just trying to hit this guy and just can't land anything. Like there's like visible frustration in her face.
Yeah. It looks like in the chat, Boyce, you rolled a death saving throw.
Yep.
And failed.
Yep, that is 1 of 3. That's if I fail 2 more times, Boyce is dead.
Well, it's a good thing your corpse is right near Barbella. I know it's not technically a corpse yet. Have lay on hands, have 10 HP.
All right.
And now, because Evers knows that doesn't turn off Gowdy, he will stop attacking Boyce. I will say that we got to the end of the order there, and I wanted to add another bit of flavor, which is where you heard the horn blast from, you now definitely just hear the sounds of fighting.
Yeah, okay. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's try and pull up to the surface one more time.
All right. Here we go.
Another goddamn 8.
12.
How many 2s have I rolled with a +6 modifier on this stupid strength?
Our side just like can't get higher than a 10 on our dice.
Literally, I have a +6 and I can't beat a 10 today.
Whoever survives this needs to open up Club Having a Bad Time, as you called it, because we're all members now.
I'm looking forward to rolling 2 2s in a row.
Hey. It's going to be a 2 and a 1, all right?
Oh, no. Okay, so Evers realizes knocking Boyce down doesn't grid the lights, decides that he doesn't care about you anymore, and turns back to Allison. 30, 31, and 21.
Jesus.
And is going to take 30 damage. Actually could have rolled better on that. But yeah, just chomps into her in a major way. She's not on death's door, but she's not looking good for the moment. So that is his focus now, to kill the person who's trying to drag him to the surface. And we are at Reaper.
Yeah, I think Reaper is very frustrated. She can't get any hits in. Things are bad, but she knows that there's an intense mission in the group to also prevent fighting from reaching right. So she is going to disengage from Master Evers and bolt off to try to find out what the source of this incoming combat is.
All right, can I get athletics to swim away fast?
Yes. 10.
All right, 10. You won't get close enough to see right now. We'll talk about this when it comes back to you.
That is absurd. I move 110 feet around, but all right.
Every 6 seconds. We'll say you think you should be able to cross the entirety of town in 6 seconds.
Okay. You don't think so?
I let you all get away with so much.
Yeah, but Austin, we're having a very bad time. And
Once again, I rolled under a 10, so I'm just trying to go for whatever I can.
It does seem like the dice have a particular grudge against you, but Boyce, you see Reaper suddenly swim away.
Have you got another haste in you?
I have to burn my only 4th level spell slot that's remaining for haste, which is not a great use of that.
No, that's fair.
To be clear, my current resources, I have 1 4th level spell slot and 1 2nd level spell slot.
No, I get you.
So so what I can do is ask for Master Evers to do another Constitution saving throw, as Boyce is going to charge another shatter into the space.
13. That's gonna fail.
That's going to fail. Oh my gosh. That was 5d8, and I rolled a 16 on that there.
Ooh.
The description of this episode is going to be the dice hate Whole Patrol. Whole Patrol loses its soul to the dice.
Barbella gets bad rolls. Boyce gets bad rolls. Reaper gets bad rolls.
Oh. I don't know that I've ever known an episode of this show have as consistent a bad set of player rolls.
Yeah, holy shit. All right. At the end of the order, I will just say that people have begun to. Some people are still watching the fight. Some people have gone to see the sounds of battle in the distance. Everything is extremely chaotic. Everything's coming to a head. Barbella?
Okay, 21. Please roll less than a 21, Austin.
12.
Cool. That's 2 successful pulls toward the surface.
Yes, it is. And we are back to Evers, who, seeing Reaper swimming away, looks despondent, and I think you can only just hear him whisper something to himself because you all are at distance. He just says, "It's like, why do you flee?"
It's a shame because I feel like Reaper would have a good response to this, but she is like bolting away as fast as possible for a character who is canonically like whisper talking, so it wouldn't make sense for her to hear it. But in her mind, she would respond like, "There's other shit besides you going on right now, dude. You're not that important."
Yeah.
He just does not accept that there is anything worth doing that isn't right there, right then. And so, Evers, being pulled up by Allison, getting close to the surface, having trouble breathing, having a lot of wounds, having shattered twice, touches the bangle on his arms and begins being covered in shadows, like liquid darkness spills out of the jewelry and begins enveloping his body. That's what you see for his turn. Him and Allison seem to be slowly engulfed in a growing darkness. Can I get another athletics from you, Reaper?
Crit, 24.
Holy balls. All right, Reaper, use them as fast as you can back in the direction of the gig. And here's where you see the consequences of the last arc where you all were gathering allies. If you had gathered no allies, this would be the part where the Coral Kingdom breaks into the gig and starts killing NPCs. If you had one ally, this would be the part where your allies are getting slaughtered by the Coral Kingdom. With 2 would be a fair fight, and then with all 3, the cephalids, the sharks, and the Leshy, you see your assembled army beating the shit out of the Coral Kingdom as they try to invade and provoke the Storm Giant to destroy their hated enemy and get rid of their blasted riddled fish. And you arrive here.
Okay. So right now, Wight is not immediately being a problem, and also the gig isn't being torn down. Cool.
With a crit Reaper, you can paint me any picture you want. Is there maybe you can save the life of one of these NPCs or something, to get maybe a favor from them, anything in particular you want? Well, I will just say that your forces are winning. If you had chosen to stay behind, they probably would have just won off screen. But with you arriving here, you have the chance to, garner some additional benefit from that.
I think Reaper is going to zero in as fast as possible, and she's going to manage to intervene before a couple of spears were about to try to pierce Alfredo, and she's just gonna tangle them up and then sort of push them back with enough force that she I don't know what the word would be, because it's not puncturing, but just kind of puncturing, I guess, with the back of their spears into the throats of a couple soldiers.
Nice. I will say you get to see how Elfago fights if he's cornered by a Coral Kingdom soldier, which is he grabs their face, wrenches their mouth open, and rips their tongue out, because that's what isopods do.
Dope.
He's a nasty little freak.
Good shit, Pud. Gotta go.
I will say he can hand you something here. Is there anything you need at this moment? Just to be
gun?
Just a little.
I technically already have one, but
Yeah, but you can't have just one gun. You got to have another one.
Yeah.
You need a sidearm.
Yeah.
Pistol or an SMG.
I feel bad about taking away haste from you earlier. Maybe he can hand you a potion of haste.
I just realized you can have an SMG and a submarine gun. You can just do that.
Oh, now we're in club having a good time. We've turned it around. So that's what you're doing, Reaper. Boyce and Barbella, you see the darkness, the clouds of liquid shadow kind of begin to disperse, and you see Allison floating there, worms hanging out of her body like Spider-Man's whips. His whips. I don't know why I said whips. Webs, obviously. And Master Evers is gone.
Not via invisibility, I hope.
Correct.
Ah.
Is it possible to try to infer what happened with the bracer or the bracelet, whatever he had on? Like what spell might have been used in that instance or something?
Absolutely. Arcana.
That'd be a 15. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like a shadowy dimension door or something.
Very close. Yeah, you can swim up. You see, Allison is wounded. It looks like she had taken a lot of bites in that fight, but she is not dying necessarily. She's just done fighting for the day, and she just says, "I was so close, hot priest. I almost got him."
You were. I was cheering you on so much. I don't think I was doing a great job of it, but I was trying to tell you you're doing great.
He was so strong, even though it looked like his muscles are more dexterous than strength. Strictly speaking, I don't know how he kept overpowering me.
Right, the two of us, so good on the muscle gains. I don't know what was up today, but success, I'm gonna call it, I guess.
It must be shadow magic.
That last bit, I'm not sure if that's necessarily shadow magic that we know. It might be some shady banana magic as far as I can tell.
That's cheating. We finally almost won.
But
You're not allowed to run away from the fight. Only Reaper can do that.
Boyce just sort of makes a gesture as if they're petting like Gowdy from the inside.
Whoa. Petting from the inside.
Because Boyce, because Gowdy's huge. Like Gowdy's just this big old, like, still glowing.
No, listen, I'm the world's biggest fan of petting from the inside. I just hadn't heard it before. Said like that. Allison said something strange to you, which is when he touched the bracelet, he said, "Benthic?" I don't know what that. I don't know. Is that like a?
Oh, that's Anglerfish shit.
It's like a. I think he said. I think it was a slur. I think he said something fish phobic to me.
It seems like he retreated back.
It's
yeah.
It's Anglerfish stuff.
Benthic? Isn't that just mean like really deep ocean?
Yeah.
Like he just probably teleported to like the bottom of the ocean to recover.
All of this is correct. I'll say with the 15 Arcana, Boyce, you specifically know the spell used here with you get with a little bit of analysis. Specifically, Word of Recall. With a word, you can go to a preset location. And you know that when you sent, I gave you a choice at the beginning of the arc where to send, or I guess it was last episode, where to send Master Evers to train. You sent him to the Banana Boys. So Porter, the sea bunny, took him, because this is what he asked for, as a way to get quickly back to the bottom of the ocean. And so she taught him Word of Recall activated with this magic item, because he's not a wizard, or a cleric rather. But that's what she gave him, is that he can instantly retreat to the Hadal zone, the bottom of the ocean, the darkest part, where he died from training. That's what killed him in the first place.
Wait, so you said he's gone back to the place that he originally died?
Correct.
Are we supposed to imply that going back there would kill him?
Well, I mean, you can all talk about this. You can roll some things. I would say, Reaper, if you take your haste potion and return to report what's going on with the fight, you are winning. This is something you earned last arc. You can discuss that and what to do about this. But the current situation is that Master Evers has returned to the darkest depths of the ocean to recover from his wounds. He was almost killed. He was one strength check away from just choking to death in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Reaper is going to like hear this news and she's going to be like, I know where the old bastard went. Probably to the place he trained me.
Well, if he's gone there and he's survived and he's not dead, going after him to try and kill him would be a terrible idea. We had a rough enough time here with him not having home field advantage.
I mean, all we were ultimately trying to do is to keep him from instigating Wight. So if he needs to lick at his wounds, he won't be doing that.
Yeah.
And I think we achieved that, because, like, even if we wanted to come back and start shit with Wight, like, that would take him too long, I think, to, like, to do. So, like, he's not big to fight with Wight. And we did better than the last fight with him, which means we've trained, we got better, we improved from our failures.
It does mean that if we leave him, he's just going to use the opportunity of surprise to attack us when we least expect it. Although I've trained my senses to know where he is at all times. That's a lie, but I want to believe it's true.
Well, I appreciate the honesty, and look, if nothing else, we went from losing the fight to, I'm going to say, winning the rematch because he had to cow it out and run. So if that trajectory continues, we'll kick his ass next time.
Reaper seems like very annoyed. Like she's like, this wasn't the sort of this wasn't the rematch she had thought in her mind. Like there's something very odd about something like having a big fight and it ends in this kind of like stalemate for herself.
Yeah, it's a letdown. It's you've not gotten your satisfying conclusion one way or the other.
Boyce will just say, sorry we weren't quite able to pull it off as planned, perfectly, Reaper, but,
There's no reason for you to apologize. I couldn't land much of a blow on him anyway.
Yeah. It seemed like, gosh, some of our ideas worked okay, but others just seemed to leave things to be desired. But for now, I think, like you said, our main goal was achieved. Wight's not being antagonized in any way, and that delays any sort of interaction with us here and with the gigs. So we have to look at our own victories and recognize them as opposed to just focusing on our shortcomings.
I can't imagine that's all. We need to find out if that stupid elf army's going to try anything.
Well, maybe we got some answers back at the gig after, our captive has been interviewed and all that.
Also, the business Bear and Banana Boys have made some kind of deal with Evers, so we'll have to look into that too. Once we destroy them and burn their crappy organization to the ground. Did I tell everybody that I beat Lucius, their strongest fighter, in one-on-one duel?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all that's happening is we're condensing all of our enemies that we need to kick the ass of into one thing. Like the Master Evers, the Business Barons, not good boys, are just like one thing now. So we'll just kick their collective asses and then all our problems are solved.
We could also explode their house.
We'll explode their everything.
Yeah, as much as I wouldn't like to just escalate things too much, the Baron and his boys are honestly just a persistent threat to a lot of stability around here regarding the vents, regarding Zolfo as a whole, and now it seems to be that by aiding Master Ebers, they are inviting Wight to overrun everything. In fact, for their standpoint, this whole area being run down and destroyed plays to their advantage because in the ruins, they could simply just take all the land, take all the vents, claim it's theirs, and then, I don't know, charge exorbitant prices for people to get lots of land unless they, work for the Baron.
On the plus side, at least neither of you have to do any stupid favors for the Baron anymore.
Nope. As far as I can tell.
Reaper says as she looks in Barbella's direction.
You what? Sorry? What? What?
Thankfully, none of us have made deals with the business Baron Banana, so that's all good.
Oh, Yeah. I'm pretty sure Barbella had made it known that unfortunately happened. Adil has, if that hadn't been said already, Barbella will go, well, yeah, about that. In order for Allison to not have slit throat, a deal was made. I fully intend to kick the Banana Baron's asses so that doesn't maintain being a thing.
I could go to Grampy K-Pot right now and get another one of those bombs made. We could just drop it on their house. I think it's an option. I do not mind being a terrorist.
I've already engaged in acts of terrorism myself, so I can't claim any sort of innocence in that regard. So,
Look, as long as you don't tell me what you've done, as long as I don't witness your acts, the church doesn't need to know.
Of course not. I'll be surrounded in darkness. No one will ever know it was me.
Imagine like a cloud of pure darkness floating over the business Baron Banana Place and just carpet bombing it, and then floating away. Reaper's being like,
must have been the wind.
I like the idea of like Boyce helping out with like using catapult to just send that thing from a distance, just like, Boyce will just sort of collect himself a bit and be like, that was it's a bit rougher than even I was expecting, though. I think we need to kind of take inventory about everything that around here and back at the gig.
yeah, I think we should go to the gig and then see if Miss Killings had any sort of report on what the sea elves were up to, if anything.
Yeah, if you all are gonna roll hit dice and heal up or anything, you can go back. Probably
That's
the majority
adorable.
of the fight.
Hit dice? I've burned all of my fucking hit dice already, Austin, in this arc. Okay.
Damn, this fish is mean. So there's probably a little fighting left to do, but if you wanted to help out your allies to repel the Coral Kingdom, you can do so. It's a pretty definitive victory at this point. It's not that there's nobody who's still mad at you, but it doesn't seem like they can win against you at this point. And you can all go into the gig and, meet up with Miss Killings. Is there any particular place you'd want to talk to her?
I don't know. Maybe in the bar in the basement? Yeah.
The Decidatorium?
Yeah, the Decidatorium. That's a great idea.
Yeah, is that the laundry room?
Laundry
or
room,
is it
I
the
believe.
kitchen?
It's the laundry room.
Okay.
Because Hialeah would eat towels while she was in there. So, in her honor, I want to start eating dish soap.
Wow, the wet team gets to go to the Decidatorium. What a fun crossover. This is like if the Justice League met at Avengers Tower, you know?
Yeah.
Boyce is getting their coat and hat laundered accordingly while this is all going on, and using mending and prestidigitation to clean up the rest of their clothes.
Miss Killings will enter with a clipboard. She's writing stuff down. She looks over the three of you and says, wow, fight went well then.
Shut up.
I mean, we didn't have to, run away in defeat, and there's no giant wrecking the gig right now. So, pretty good.
Yeah, I defeated a big minotaur.
Ooh.
I did pretty much everything. You're probably going to hear other versions of the fight, but I would say I won the whole fight.
What was the finishing blow?
It was kind of a team attack between me and Lillian. Lillian, did a big flourish. It was very fancy looking, but who's to say which attack was more functional, I'm more of a function over form person.
Do I roll insight to know if Miss Killings is lying?
Sure.
That's a 16 for Boyce in that respect.
Yeah, she's definitely
16.
lying.
Yeah. Just being like,
Barbella doesn't question it at all, not even rolling.
Okay.
But that doesn't sound right, but I suppose right now is the best time to be
It's
pedantic.
yeah, but Barbella will chime in. It's the only version of events I've heard. I believe it.
Thank you, Sister Barbella. As far as elf update, or elf date, as I'm calling it now, I did interrogate Vice Admiral Eaton, who I'm sure you're well aware of her whole backstory and all of that. I don't need to bore you with the details.
No, none of us speak elf.
Oh, well, I'll give you the short version then. I wouldn't worry too much about it. So it appears that among the Admiralty, sailing through our waters has become kind of a hot button political issue. There are a lot of people who want it to stop. There are a lot of people who want to fight us. After Boyce sank their previous ship, after you have disrupted the Krill cartel by working with the Leshy, all these things are making them very mad. And basically, Vice Admiral Eaton set off to sabotage us by submitting 100,000 body parts to our queue. But it was her understanding that this was a kind of last-ditch effort mission, and that if she lost another ship, they would call the whole thing off. They would pull the plug and find other waters to plunder and pollute. So, kind of paradoxically, by slaughtering all these people with no conversation, you have in fact convinced the Elf Navy that we are too insane to deal with and not worth the trouble. If perhaps you had...
Excellent. So what you're saying is that we're heroes.
What you're saying is that acting without really thinking about the consequences actually was a very good thing that we did.
Here's what I'm taking away from it, is that you never know what the consequences are. I think there's every possibility in the world that these people wanted to do trade with us, and that slaughtering them would have provoked a serious reaction. They could have taken that as an act of war and dedicated their souls and body and mind to killing us, like the Coral Kingdom. But in this case, if you had, for example, tried to talk with them and reason with them, they would have decided we were pussies and tried to exploit us and fill our water with gunk. So you win some, you lose some, you kill some, you talk to some.
This day's not shaping up to be half bad after all.
This is 99% of the time. If you talk to your enemies and on Dice Funk, you can realize that you're not so different, and there's some kind of middle ground, some kind of compromise. But every once in a while, people just the right answer is to conk them over the head.
You're reasonable, huh? Oh, geez, it'd be a shame if we took advantage of that and just squandered you for everything you have.
I'm glad my instinct to just fight and not really worry about talking to these people was correct, because I'm gonna tell you what I've been imagining the elves to be this whole time. Recently, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was released, and it had a group of villains called the Washbucklers, whose whole thing was pirates but trash. And in my head, that's what this was like, you're the trash pirates who go ha 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 as you dump trash, and that's your whole personality. I'm glad that my vibe was about right.
Yeah, no, we don't have to make the subtext text, but reasoning with people who want to pollute just doesn't work. They say, oh, shucks, sure would be bad if the world got worse and water was full of microplastics. Anyway, gonna keep doing exactly what I was doing.
Listen, in this case here, Boyce was fully aware that he was engaged in eco-terrorism, and he did not have any qualms because, like, it's just like,
yeah.
Listen, if you're gonna have this sort of disregard for our space, we don't have to treat your ship with any regard. You don't have to be in the water. You're as one of my friends would refer to, you're a shore walker. Okay, you get back on the shore if you're gonna be like that.
Sometimes violence is the answer. Can I get intelligence saving throws from all of you?
What? Oh,
intelligence. Would someone like a +3? To their results.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think we all get it if we're inside your aura. I believe that's how that works for paladins.
Is it just one? Whenever you or a friendly creature must make a saving throw, equal to. Oh yeah. Both of you have +3.
Cool. Okay, so I botched with a 12.
18.
Oh my god.
7.
I don't know why Reaper is the only one who succeeds on this intelligence score. I'm going to say it's just because your brain isn't.
I think she's just so self-satisfied that violence without talking was the correct answer. And she's just like, yeah, dude, it's like awesome to just whoop people's asses and not think about it.
How much damage am I taking, Austin?
Yep, Boyce and Barbella take 4 damage. Maybe just a sudden headache, maybe a nosebleed. Yeah, you don't know much more than that right now, but that's what's happening.
I mean, I'm still standing. That's really all I needed.
I was looking for you to roll a D10 and for that to be a natural 10. I'm like, you motherfucker, you knocked me out again with a random saving throw check here. Okay.
But Miss Killings will say, I've been speaking with the vibe checkers about the upcoming political situation. I don't know if you've all been briefed or if you want to be briefed. I assume you're going to be supporting Bishop Bittercreek's, what's called a regime administration? That's maybe less colored. Less,
Wait, what? What's going on?
So you're aware that Big Papa Hylia has perished and is undergoing a vibe check with the hopes of being reborn as Hetman Hylia of the Banyan Tree. So that's her plan, but if she's not successful, if she doesn't come back, if the Circle of Trust doesn't, vote her back in, as it were, the religious leadership will fall to Bishop Bittercreek. And, depending on how you feel about these people as leaders or individuals or friends, they have different platforms, and so your participation in this will have, ramifications.
Barbella's gonna stop for a second and go, wait, so if Hylia doesn't come back, there'll be no one pushing for the trees side of things.
Ostensibly, Bishop Bittercreek will be in charge of both, just as if Hylia does come back, she will be in charge of both. I will say I think earnestly both leaders would have, the island's best interests in mind, but if it comes down to a corner case, a 50-50, Bishop Bittercreek will probably side with Zolfo and Hylia with Banyan Island, so that's just a bias you would need to keep in mind.
Barbella's like a little caught off guard by this, and she says, I just sort of assumed it was gonna end up being like one representative of each dual leadership thing, because there's 2 religious interests here, and it feels really weird that we would just one of them would exist.
If Hylia, ascends to the top position, she will want to be in charge, and if Bishop Bittercreek ascends, he will probably want to be in charge. It's not that the other person will cease to exist. Like, if Bishop Bittercreek, quote-unquote, wins, there will be people looking out for Banyan Island's best interests, but they will just not have as much political capital as he does.
Won't Hylia definitely come back? It's going to be your people choosing to bring someone back, right?
It was Hylia's instructions that everyone who is in the so-called Circle of Trust should be allowed to decide if they are amenable, which includes the vibe checkers, Lillian and Stranger, and the 3 of you, the so-called Whole Patrol, she says with disdain.
So you want us to do one of your vibe checks?
That would be the request, yes.
Pass. Not interested.
All right. That is, of course, an option.
Which vibe? Who would we be vibe checking?
I'm assuming Hylia, right?
Correct. Boyce and Barbella, you take 4 damage as your headache gets worse and you're now bleeding pretty profusely.
Okay.
Okay, this doesn't seem good, but I do want to chime in. I am on team do a vibe check.
Yeah, Boyce will do the same. By the way, I'm going to burn my last spell slot to avoid dying the next time this thing triggers, Austin. I'm going to burn a 2nd level spell slot to cast Cure Wounds on myself. 11 hit points back there. All right. Shoot. I messed up.
Killings offers you a towel to dab at your face if whoever's nose is bleeding.
Yeah, Killings, what's up with this?
Oh, I have no idea. It seems like you thing. I'm Kemerlengo of Banyan Island. It's a financial position mostly. I leave the magic to you folks.
Okay, this is a problem. Yeah, little context for Barbella's side. Barbella is very much on team go do Hialeah vibe check, in as much as none of this conversation of, well, obviously either tree or fish snake will be in charge, because she's had a little epiphany. They're the same. They're two halves of the same religion. They're the yin and yang. This is not how they're gonna have to be in harmony. Barbella is not confident in this. And this is why she's very on team do this vibe check. Can we do any other kind of roll to like find out why
We're nose bleeding?
why we're bleeding?
Yeah, religion.
Religion? Okay.
Okay.
Shit, I only rolled a 23.
Okay. That must have been confusing for the audience.
I have to do it sometimes there.
Okay, a 10.
With a 23, Boyce, you succeed, and I think you think like, oh, is this like some kind of pressure differential? Like, is this magic? You're like trying to run the calculations, and it doesn't ping off anything wizard-like, but it does. The headache reminds you very much of being in the presence of the riddlefish. You saw a coral Medusa's head pop when she got the riddle wrong. So 23 is so good. I'm going to say this. Someone is trying to summon the riddle snake right now.
Oh.
Oh,
And
that's white.
is someone failing to summon it from the pressure like this happening?
None of you have heard one of the riddles 3, so that is your guess. Yes.
Okay. Yes, on team, do the vibe check, but we should probably go deal with this. Barbella is ready to start sprinting in some direction.
All right. I'm at 13 hit points, have no spell slots, so let's just go, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's not very good. I will say you rush out of the gig and you feel like the magic spreading through the water. It seems like it's not a good time. You don't have
the feeling of bad riddles. Such failure. It's crushing me.
What do you call tuna fish dance recital?
You call it a tuna fish. That's what you call a
that's
tuna
terrible.
Fish. Oh no.
What do you call cheese that's not your own? Parmesan cheese. Fuck, no. It was right there.
All right, yeah, you can rush out, and I think it takes you a while. Like, there are people running here and there. Some people were, what's the word I'm looking for? Convalescing after the battle with the Coral Kingdom. So there's like that battlefield's happening. A lot of people are confused and scared, and eventually you notice that the water has stopped churning so much. The intense maelstrom has subsided, and you can work your way over there. With a 9, you don't get there fast enough, I will say, but you see Wight the Storm Giant has kneeled on the ocean floor and appears to be praying, no longer shrouded by lightning and clouds. It just is a kind of bluish purple man on his knees.
I thought we stopped him. We got him distracted. We did it. I thought. Oh no.
Wait, what did you think you did? Hold on, this is important.
I thought the whole deal was if we prevented Wight from getting attacked, Wight would be stuck on a wild goose chase for long enough that the dry team would be ready to attack.
Well, it might be the fact that Wight is just trying to invoke riddles to bring out the riddle snake, but it's just bad at it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not like we stopped paying attention. Wight is like we left Wight to their devices, and they are successfully summoning the fish.
Not yet. It takes a cleric or paladin of true faith. Not just anyone can do it. But he has been observing the town for days. He understands it's a religion. He's not stupid. Here's the thing. Giants are actually pretty smart. And so he is going to try to summon it. And it's not going well. And it just may be that fucking up his religious ritual is just going to give everyone in town brain damage. because of the way that this works. Trying to summon the commune with the riddlefish creates this very powerful psychic bond that will literally kill you if you don't answer the riddles 3. But he has not been attacked. If he was attacked, he would just kick Zolfo into dust with his giant foot.
So we don't. I mean, one option is we could summon the riddlefish, and then whatever happens, happens.
I don't think that's the wisest of ideas. I would like my religious deity not to get one shot here.
I mean, we don't know what'll happen.
Look, the way the dice have been going today, there is no world in which I am letting dice get rolled to determine whether my deity lives or dies. Like, next episode, next arc, we can roll for my deity dying, but not today.
Do we know? Is there like a thing that if like enough riddles are failed, then like the riddlefish just moves on to someplace else, essentially? Like, can we just spam false, like, entries and, like, we'll get, hit for it. But, like, can we do that to basically, like, force the riddlefish to, like, reset or something?
I don't know the answer to that because this is a mystery that's full of religions for me. I will say we can work that. We can kind of explore that space together. But I don't have a correct answer for you.
I have a thought. Is there a meaningful enough distinction between a riddle and something similar that we could sort of mislead Wight away by doing some very definitely puns that aren't riddles and convincing him that will help him get the fish?
It's hard for me to suggest anything because, especially with how the thing's going, Boyce can tank 3 to 4 of these failed attempts at petitioning the riddlefish before they're going to be knocked out again. So,
yeah, that's kind of the stakes here. You're not going to fight Wight. That's off the table. You'll just die. The question is, can you figure out how to do something outside the box, like maybe one of your suggestions, before the psychic trauma of being in communion with the riddlefish just causes you to die?
The only idea I have is making Gowdy act like the riddle fish while it's in its huge size.
Oh. So everything's on the table. I'll say all the Zolfo NPCs are eventually going to like come to see what's going on. So you can ask them, you can roll, or you can just talk to amongst yourselves.
If that doesn't work, I have like a Hail Mary way out of this.
Yeah, that's just sort of my main thought there. Like, we have Gowdy, we can have I can pump a little bit more light into Gowdy to make it be like a glowy thing as it comes up, and basically allow it to be like taken out by Wight.
I go for it. Yeah, give it a go. See if it do.
I was gonna say Reaper has the ability to cast the minor illusion cantrip. So I can like aid that by like creating a sound. It says I can create a sound that's as loud as a scream. So like making a very loud sound to create the idea that there is like mass to Gowdy and like there is like something. I could even make the sound of like beating drums as though it's like sort of like a ritualistic like sound that accompanies the riddlefish.
Yeah, I will say if we were trying to trick Wight, that's going to be a deception check, but don't roll it yet because I want to be clear. While rules is written, he can just attack it and it'll be destroyed and you can resummon it. For this to stick, it needs to be more permanent, and Killings gave you a ring of permanence. Here's my suggestion. You would need to lose Gowdy permanently in order to fully trick Wight. Like, Gowdy will disappear into the distance and Wight will chase it off, and you will just you will never be able to summon it again, maybe because Wight uses some kind of super high level magic to destroy it in an irrevocable way. This is like a heroic sacrifice you'd need to commit to. Otherwise, he would just come back and be like, I know you tricked me, I'm back to praying.
Yeah. I have another option to put on the table. Barbella is the only person around who has successfully summoned the riddlefish. Barbella could go, I see what you're trying to do. I can teach you about this religion. and try and take as long-winded a route around teaching that religion as possible to not teach too much, and to cross her fingers that Wight does not work out she is wasting his time, and put herself in risk in that way.
Yeah, and that's once again, anything's on the table. I don't want to say no. I want to say that a failure on a deception check there, it feels like he kills Barbella on the spot, in a way that I feel is maybe more than you want to commit to. Because if you fail the deception and he's like, you're trying to trick me, I'm going to kill all of you anyway. It doesn't make any sense for me not to just immediately, flatten you like an accordion.
I mean, look, this is me. I'll do shit because it's interesting for the story, but I'm putting it on the table as an option.
I want Boyce to sort of kind of come up to both Reaper and Barbella, pull out their book of all their spells and such, and flip through it. And I'm trying to avoid crying right now, okay? So that's why I'm being a little cautious about this. Boyce flips to the very back of it and sort of reveals what looks to be like a painting or a drawing of 3 people. There's Boyce, another genasi, a water genasi most likely, and this eel that sort of is encircling the both of them. It's an eel that looks strikingly like what Gowdy looks like a lot of the times in how they've been depicted. And he just takes a long look at that picture and then finally says, I think I have a plan to get Wight away from here and to keep us all safe. But I'm going to have to say goodbye once more as they trace their fingers along the picture a bit. Reaper, do you mind helping me out a little bit here?
Of course.
Boyce gestures with their hand, and Gowdy, having shrunk down in size a bit, comes up to everyone, and once Gowdy approaches, Boyce pets along them and says, I know you're not quite the same as the original, but you've been a good partner for all these years. But to save everything, Ollie's plan and my plan and everything we're trying to do here, I got one last favor to ask you, partner. And then with that, there's almost like a whisper off of Boyce's lips, and then Gowdy starts to swim downward to go into the sand as their size increases while underground. And Boyce gestures over towards one of the vents that's already open and indicates, we gotta make the sound come from that spot there as Gowdy breaches past. I think with that, I can lure Wight away under false pretenses.
Yeah, so Reaper is going to... Normally she just kind of has minor illusion kind of constantly being cast to give her cool black wispy shadows and stuff like that. She always wants to make herself look cooler, but those are gonna fade away, and instead there's the slow low growing of this drum beat essentially occurring within the vent that seems to be ushering in something, and it will start to make the noise as though something loud is starting to come through it.
And with that, as it happens, Gowdy sort of transfixed. As it happens, Gowdy, who has been sort of shifted in shape to look more like the riddle serpent, like the riddle snake, erupts up from where that sound is in front of Wight and moves to swim up past the surface of the water and try to move away from him.